Hello everybody, we will continue today with the second part of the Narcissist, and we will this time look into recognizing narcissistic systems and protecting the church. The biblical foundations for these presentations are found in Matthew 23, 5-12. Everything they do is done for people to see. They love the place of honor in banquets and the most important seats in the synagogues. Jesus warned about religious leaders who desire recognition more than service. We're also basing these on John 5:44. How can you believe since you accept glory from one another, but do not seek the glory that comes from only God? The pursuit of human approval can slowly replace the pursuit of God's approval. In 3 John 9:10, we find a very interesting character. It is mentioned there, Diotrephes, who loves to be first. Scripture identifies the danger of leaders who desire prominence and control. And finally, one of the greatest examples we find in the Bible of true leadership is found in the life of John the Baptist himself. John 3:30 says, "He must become greater and I must become less," or "I must decrease that he might increase." The antidote to narcissism is not low self-esteem, it is Christ-centered humility. What are the main objectives for our presentation today? We're going to equip the church to recognize narcissistic leadership patterns, identify unhealthy church cultures, protect accountability and share leadership, prevent personality-centered ministry, and build a Christ-centered church culture. A narcissistic person can damage relationships, a narcissistic system can damage the entire church. So last week we examined the narcissism at a personal level. Today we will continue to see some of that, but now we want to see it from the church perspective, especially we're thinking also on leadership as well, where leadership is narcissistic. So I want you to really try to think about narcissism in these many different areas and how it affects many different aspects. Last week we were asking, do I have narcissistic tendencies? Today's question is a little different. What happens when narcissism begins shaping a church? Because the greatest danger is not simply a narcissistic individual. The greatest danger is when a church culture begins rewarding narcissistic behavior. This is important because what a church rewards, a church reproduces. Now, you have to understand that rewarding sometimes just means doing nothing about what is happening. The narcissistic church culture, sometimes the problem isn't just an individual. Sometimes the church starts rewarding unhealthy traits, or sometimes the church allows the behavior to continue or does nothing about it. Hence the importance of developing a process as a church that would allow for boundaries to be set and for conversations to be held. For example, the strongest personality gets heard the most. This is some of the behaviors that can nurture these in the church. Criticism gets rewarded. Control gets mistaken for leadership. Visibility gets mistaken for spirituality. The loudest voice gains influence. Charisma is valued more than character. Behaviors are not addressed properly or timely. So these are many different ways in which a church can actually nurture these behaviors. Over time, people learn, if I want influence, I need attention. Instead of, if I want influence, I need character. Which kind of church are we becoming? Is a good question. Let's ask ourselves this question this morning. What behavior receives the most attention? Who receives the most influence? Who gets heard the most? Do we elevate personalities over principles? Do we celebrate visibility more than faithfulness? Are humble servants valued as much as visible leaders? What kind of behavior does our church reward is the question in essence. Let us look at some red flags of narcissistic leadership. You can apply these to personalities, leaders specifically, or a leadership setting. 1, it cannot receive correction. Every correction becomes a personal attack, disrespect, criticism, or rejection. Instead of asking, what can I learn? They ask, how dare you ask me? Another one is, must be first. They need title, position, and visibility. Service is no longer enough when importance becomes the goal. They take credit. Success belongs to them, but failure belongs to others. Remember that the narcissistic behavior can never really accept accountability. Accountability, however, and feedback are important keys to success. They avoid repetition of mistakes and they encourage healthy continuity. That way we will continue to do those things that are actually valuable. Another one is that it creates dependency. People begin feeling nothing can happen without them. We cannot function without them. We need their approval first. Healthy leaders develop people. Narcissistic leaders develop dependence. Another one is that they are threatened by others. They struggle when new leaders emerge. Others succeed and attention shifts elsewhere. Healthy leaders develop others. Narcissistic leaders compete with them, undermine them, undervalue them. They cannot share authority. Healthy leaders delegate. Narcissistic leaders centralize. Some signs that this is happening include everything requires their approval, difficulty trusting others. If I don't do it myself, it's not going to get done. I cannot develop a program that includes other people. I'll just do it myself so I can be in control. Reluctance to empower new leaders, allow other people to develop their leadership. Resistance to share leadership is the key. Control often grows where trust is absent. You do not trust others, therefore you want control. How narcissism damages churches. Let's look at these very quickly. One of the things that it produces is burnout. People feel used, drained, unappreciated. Ministry becomes exhausting. People don't want to come to the board meetings or to the church or to lead. Fear. People stop sharing concerns. People avoid difficult conversations. People begin walking on eggshells. They feel that if they say something, they're going to be eaten alive. Correction becomes dangerous when someone's identity is tied to being right all the time. This is what narcissists believe. Dependence. The church begins revolving around one personality instead of around Christ. People begin protecting a leader instead of protecting biblical principles. Now, I believe this happens because the charismatic nature of these narcissistic leaders makes others believe that they have done anything wrong when they are the ones dividing the church. That is the problem. They begin to protect the person because they believe the person can do no wrong, when in reality, the person has gone around creating fires everywhere. Loss of mission. The church starts focusing on personalities, positions, recognition instead of evangelism, discipleship, and service. A church that becomes personality-centered will eventually become mission-weakened. Loss of future leadership. That's critical. Potential leaders withdraw and don't want to participate in the process anymore. Gifted members step back or leave the church altogether. Emerging leaders never develop because there is someone already taking every position possible in controlling the entire process. There is no room for growth, technically. Now let us take a deeper dive at this situation here as we look into the narcissistic personality or leader. They love to overstep. Overstepping boundaries and taking authority that has not been given can be a common behavior in some people with strong narcissistic traits. Although it's not exclusive to narcissism, and it doesn't mean that somebody that does that is specifically a narcissist, they do tend to do this, narcissists. In a workplace or church leadership setting, these might look like acting as though their opinion carries more weight than others, making decisions outside their role of responsibility, ignoring established leadership structures, undermining leaders while presenting themselves as the more capable person, wanting to have the last word on everything, including in the presence of leadership, inserting themselves into situations where they have not been invited to lead, reacting poorly when corrected or held accountable. How to handle a narcissistic person. So these we did not do last Sabbath. We need to get into these now. First of all, you must stay grounded. Do not be impressed by charisma, popularity, visibility, confidence. Character matters more than personality. Look at the character. Maintain boundaries. Kindness does not require surrender. Love does not require enabling unhealthy behavior. Let me tell you this. You do not have to continuously get hurt in order to say that you have the love of Jesus. You have to be able to establish healthy boundaries. And that's part of holding those who are misbehaving accountable. Keep accountability strong. Everyone remains accountable, no exceptions, no special treatment. Focus on facts. Do not react. Narcissists love even negative reactions. It feeds them, okay? Stay calm, but be careful in how you follow the process. Address actions, decisions, behaviors, not assumptions, nor motives, because you cannot prove motives. And the narcissist will always deny things, even if they are evident. Protect shared leadership. No one person should become indispensable. Shared leadership means all of us are working together. Each has their own role, and we all are necessary for the task to be accomplished. The moment a church believes it cannot function without one person, it has become vulnerable immediately. Use clear documentation. I have emphasized this from the beginning. For example, send an email. Even if you follow Matthew 18, even if you talk to the person, make sure that you have already stated in an email your points to make sure that everything you wanted to say is already been made clear. When necessary, follow up conversations, clarify decisions, confirm agreements in writing. This protects truth, accountability, and transparency. It also prevents gaslighting. We already talked about how the narcissist will deny that they said what they said, they did what they did, they acted the way they acted. They will deny it no matter what, to your face. So it's important to have some kind of accountability. Response principle here is we show grace to people while maintaining accountability for behavior. This does not make you a bad person. This does not make you a bad Christian. It makes you a careful, loving Christian when you do this. What does health look like? So what about a healthy pattern that we can make a comparison here? Healthy members celebrate others. They have a natural ability to do that. Now, a narcissist person might celebrate somebody, but indirectly attack them even in the celebration itself. We genuinely celebrate others. We are happy for others. We receive correction. We don't have a problem accepting that, yes, we do make mistakes, and that we can apologize and move on and correct those behaviors. We share credit. We believe that all of us working together are responsible for the successes, as well as we accept our mistakes when they do happen. We develop people. We allow people to become leaders as well and to grow. We serve quietly. We welcome accountability. We empower new leaders. We practice empathy. This is important because the narcissistic person has a difficult time being empathic. Sometimes they might fake empathy when it fits their purposes, but they cannot genuinely care for people. So we practice empathy. We care about others. Even when we're trying to follow a process, we care about them. When we want to achieve success, we don't do it at the expense of people. And finally, we place Christ first. The opposite of narcissism is not insecurity. The opposite is not low self-esteem. The opposite is Christ humility. Humility is the key word. Humility says, this is not about me. Others matter too. Christ must remain at the center of whatever we do. Let us do the self-check right now. The self-check is to see how our church is behaving in order to create an environment that is either conducive to narcissism or not. Am I helping build dependence or developing people? Can I celebrate others without comparison? Am I protecting personalities or principles? What behavior am I rewarding? Is Christ truly at the center? Let us make a commitment as a church, as we have made with all the other presentations. Today we choose humility over self-promotion, character over charisma, accountability over power, shared leadership over dependence, mission over personality, Christ over self. I would like to invite us to have the same attitude that John the Baptist had. When Messiah showed up in the scene, John the Baptist, he had a follow-up. He was a celebrity. He was being praised and thought of as a prophet by many. And yet he understood it's time for Jesus to be highlighted. It's time for Jesus to be the center of all. That's where he said he must become greater and must become less. The greatest danger to the church is not criticism, conflict, or disagreement. We already talked about that and we said that this is natural. The greatest danger is when self occupies the place that belongs to Christ. Every unhealthy behavior we have studied becomes stronger when self is on the throne and weaker when Christ is. So let us put Christ in the throne. Let us get all of these behaviors become weaker. Let us become united as a church. Let us do the work that God called us to do. Let us check conflict. Let us address it. Let us put boundaries, and let us address behaviors that are unhealthy. Let's not stand by while these situations grow. May the Lord bless you. May you have a wonderful Sabbath day, and I'll see you in the next presentation.